Infatuation. Shifters Forever Worlds. By Elle Thorne. Chapter 1. Witch Hunter. This was a moniker Hawke had earned. It was a nickname he reveled in, knowing every time he hunted a witch, he brought himself a little closer to feeling as though his little sister's death had been avenged. Closure. There was no such thing. Not as long as a memory of his sister's broken and battered body lived in his mind. It was the same memory. It had made him a violent teenager, always in trouble with the Shifter Council. Though they had cut him slack, whispering he'd been through something that would have ruined a lesser man. Who said it didn't ruin him? That violent teenager he'd been made his way into the special forces of the Shifter military, where he'd excelled at killing. Witch Hunter. A wry, self-deprecating smile twitched the corner of his lip. He'd seen enough death, but didn't know a way to put aside the torment of his sister's death that haunted him. He'd pay good money to learn how to give himself peace, but lately he'd begun to think the only peace he would ever have would come when he was 6 feet under. This giant polar bear shifter of a man, a mountain, though not as bulky as some because he kept himself lean, was beginning to think he had fought the good fight and it was time to hang it up. Maybe this will be the last job. And maybe after this, he could go into a forever hibernation. He could leave the world and its pain and misery behind. There she was. The witch. Coming out of her apartment in the outskirts of a small town near Moscow, Russia, not too far from where Hawke made his permanent home. She walked carefree as though life itself brought her special joy. Her lips curved into a smile, seemed like her soul shared a special secret with nature that granted her a charmed existence. That smile of hers would be gone soon enough, once he turned her over to the one who hired him. This witch would be taken to the Shifter Council to pay for her crimes. Hawke had no use for witches. He never had, and never met a witch he liked. Take that back, he had one use for witches. He glanced at vengeance on his sleeve, a spider that cast enchanted webs which paralyzed and even poisoned witches. A witch had given him vengeance in exchange for Hawke letting her live. As if knowing he was thinking of her, vengeance stirred, twitching one of her hairy legs, her eyes glancing in his direction. Vengeance was no small spider, she was larger than the palm of his hand. She'd been his friend, his best friend really, since about 6 months after Hawke left the Special Forces. He'd re-pledged himself to the task of seeking revenge, and vengeance had taken to her name as if born to it. The waiting was the hardest.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?